of both parties present, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. How I do that is I have to read a statement to you, which I read to every single case. After I'm done reading, I'll hand the case over to case manager Brenda Madeira. She'll get your names and your spellings, and then we'll go ahead and get the hearing going. And good, the recording is started. So good morning again. My name is Allie D. Medeiros. I am the attorney for the Philadelphia Fair Housing Commission. Also present today from the Fair Housing Commission staff is Ms. Brenda Madeira, the case manager. You also see somebody listed as PCHR, FHC staff. That's Michael Fontaine. He runs our Zoom hearings for us. For the hearing, I'm required to go over a few things with you. First, you're being recorded. We record all our hearings. By remaining on the line and participating in the hearing, you are consenting to be recorded. Our Zoom hearings have the same force and effect as if we were in person. The only difference is on Zoom, we do not have a court reporter. In the event either party wants to appeal a final order of this commission, you can reach out to me or Ms. Madeira, and we'll provide you a copy of the video recording. Please be mindful of what you're saying and doing because it is being recorded. Second, at 9 o'clock this morning, the commissioners and myself, the attorney, met in a private executive session to discuss the day's cases. We do that on every hearing day with every case. Third, the parties had the opportunity to submit documents. I have the submitted documents saved on my computer and can share them with everyone on the screen. Please keep in mind that the commission generally only reviews the very basic documents in a case prior to the hearing. If you would like a document reviewed by the commission, please reference it by a name, date, or description so that I can post it on the screen for everyone to look at the same time. Lastly, during the course of today's hearing, it might be necessary for the commissioners to speak privately to make decisions in this matter. If they need to do that, they're going to invite you to join separate rooms divided by party called breakout rooms. So a prompt will come on your screen at the appropriate moment asking you if you would like to join a breakout room. We will direct you to click join when you see that prompt. Once in the breakout room, please remain in that room. We'll never end a hearing when you're in a separate room. Please make sure you're joined back into the main room and that a commissioner or staff member dismisses you before you log off or hang up. Thank you very much for listening. With that, I'm going to hand the case over to Ms. Madeira. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Fair Housing Commission. This is the case of Brianna Garvin versus Kimberly and Cameron Kodaka. This is our first hearing. This is docket number 2025-01-13-19642. At this time, I would ask the tenant, would you please state your name and spell it clearly for the recording?
Brianna Garvin. It's Brina. My last name is Garv as in Victor, IN.
Thank you. Landlord, would you please state and spell your name clearly for the recording?
Sure. My name is Kimberly Kodaka, Kimberley, and my last name is Khod as in David, Akhah.
Thank you. So at this time, I would like to swear you both in. Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Yes.
Thank you. So as you heard, documentations have already been submitted to this commission. So we would ask you that as you testify, if there is a document that you wish to be shown on the screen for all to see, please make mention of the title of said document, or if you're using a date, use the complete date, which would be the month, the day, and the year of said document. We would ask you to speak when spoken to. Do not interrupt nor disrespect each other. We will definitely ask you not to interrupt nor disrespect the commissioners as they proceed over this matter. You will receive a final order that you're able to appeal at the Court of Common Pleas. If you choose to appeal, you'll need a copy of this recording that will be transcribed for that purpose. This case is not scheduled in municipal court as of this morning. Again, my name is Brenda Madeira, and the commission is presiding over this matter today is Commissioner Butler, Commissioner Bronson, and Commissioner Baez. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, and welcome to the Fair Housing Commission. The hearing this morning will first hear from the tenant. Once the tenant presents her case, then we will proceed to the landlord. Ms. Garvin?
Yes,
You filed this complaint with Fair Housing Commission on January 13th, 2025. Is that correct?
that is correct.
Can you please state the property address that we're here to discuss?
Sure. It's 4000 Gypsy Lane, Unit 529, Philadelphia, PA 19129.
Okay. And are you still residing at the property?
I am.
Okay. And when did you first move into this property?
I moved into the property June 2022. June 1st, 2020.
And what is the monthly rent?
At that time, it was $16.50. When I renewed my lease in 2024, it went up to $17.20 a month.
Okay, 1720. When you renewed your lease, are you on a month to month or did it renew to a on a yearly basis?
It went to a 2-year lease. As document February 26th, we had a conversation. She said she was renewing it for 2 years at that point. So that was my renewal, and she stated that the rent will be $17.20, which was stated, which was agreed on. I'm sorry, it was May 30th, 2024. I'm looking at a different one. I'm sorry, I'm nervous. March 30th, 2024, she reached out to me in regards to renewal. I'm sorry, March 30th, 2024.
Okay, so what is your understanding of what type of lease you currently have?
I was on a 2-year lease at that point.
So currently, what is your understanding of what lease term you're under right now?
A 2-year lease,
So your understanding is that you are on a 2-year lease.
correct.
Okay. You filed this complaint alleging a good cause challenge, but before we get into that, when you first moved in or at any time there since, have you received a certificate of renter suitability?
I did not.
Through today, have you received that document?
I just received it, I think March 26th or 27th of 2025.
Okay. And have you received the Let's Save certificate?
I just received that, I think the beginning of March, beginning or ending of March of 2025.
Okay. And when was the last time that rent was paid to the landlord?
January 2025.
Okay. And are you withholding rent?
From February and March, yes.
And what is the reason for you to withhold rent?
Because as it stated on my paper that she did not have, well, it was no renter's license on file. I didn't have the proper documentation. So I was told if I needed to withhold rent to give her notice. I opened up a separate account to put that rent in
Okay.
for those months.
When you moved in, what was the upfront money that you paid the landlord? For example, did you pay first, last, and security?
I paid first and I paid security. So I paid $16.50 times 2.
Okay. The first month obviously went towards the first month of rent and then the security deposit.
Yes,
So from your understanding, your landlord is only holding on to the 1650 for security.
that is correct.
The first month's rent was applied towards the first month.
It was, yes.
Okay. You filed this complaint with Fair Housing alleging a good cause challenge. A good cause challenge is when a landlord is trying to end a lease that is less than a year. More frequently, it is known as a month-to-month. Your understanding is that you are in a 2-year lease.
That's what was stated, yes, in the text. I thought that's what we agreed on.
Okay, assuming that you are on a month-to-month tenancy,
Mhm.
why do you believe, what letter did you receive from your landlord stating that your landlord no longer wanted you to reside at the property?
I received that through email January 12th, 2025 at 7:16 a.m. via email.
Okay, and in that email, your landlord stated what exactly?
She stated that she wanted to discuss the plans for moving out. We had talked on that Friday, and she sent me this on that Sunday to proceed with the moving out.
Okay, so you believe that this reasoning is not sufficient because?
Because in my lease, it states that she's supposed to give me 90 days if she would proceed with sale. As January 12th, until the dates of March 1st or March 15th that she was giving me for a move-out date was not 90 days, her written move-out notice to me.
Okay, I understand. For that, commissioners, do you have any other questions for the tenant before we proceed to the landlord?
No questions.
No questions.
Okay, thank you. So now we're going to ask the landlord, Ms. Kadaka.
Hello, yes, how are you?
Hi, good, how are you?
Good.
You heard the testimony of the tenant, of your tenant. First, let me begin by asking you regarding the, is there a license to rent for this property?
There is now.
And when was that obtained?
Sorry. It was obtained, it was finalized last week. I actually, initiated the, paperwork upon, notification that a rental application was needed because, I apologize, I actually didn't need it. I haven't been in the state of Philadelphia since I graduated from university in 1996.
Okay, I understand, thank you. And then regarding a certificate of renter suitability, the tenant did acknowledge receiving that document.
Yes, I sent that as well as the handbook
Okay,
and the lead
and
certificate.
the Let's Safe certificate. The tenant also stated that you are still holding on to the security deposit,
Yes,
okay? And that the last time that you received rent was back in January. So the tenant, is that correct?
correct.
Okay. The tenant is withholding February, March, and now April.
She has until the 7th or something like that to pay it, but yes, I thought that's what we were also going to conclude today, but yes.
Okay. Now, the only other question that I have for you specifically is regarding the lease term. What is your understanding of the lease that you both have, the lease that you have with your tenant?
Yeah, I agree 100% with what Brianna said. We have a 2-year lease that was renewed at the expiration of our first 2-year lease. We do not have a month-to-month.
Okay.
Can I ask a clarifying question? Did you sign a new lease at the end of the original lease?
Are you speaking to me?
Yes, ma'am, or either.
We did not. There was an addendum in our lease, if you see the last page, and it says that an automatic renewal for 2 years.
Okay.
I actually also, I see this one here. I did send over the signed version of the lease. I'm not sure. This was one that I originally sent, but then I thought that I saw that it was the unsigned one.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so given that that's the status of this case, I don't know if we would like to take a recess, just very briefly to discuss, see where we are. Is that okay, Ally?
Yes, let's do a recess, please.
Okay, so we'll do that. We're gonna be asking you folks to go into a breakout room while the commission meets to discuss this.
If she can hear.
Okay, so we're back in session and the Fair Housing Commission is ready to render an order in this matter. Given that we've heard the testimony from both parties, we understand that the property was without a license up until recently, specifically late March, March 26th or 25th of 2025. At that point, also the landlord presented the tenant with a certificate of renter suitability and also a lead safe certificate. Given that the parties are in a more than a year lease, the good cause challenge is not applicable. However, we're going to review this as a notice to vacate because the landlord did not have the proper city documentation up until recently, the notice to vacate is invalid. Therefore, the tenant owes rent beginning in April. There shall be no harassment or retaliation, and that is the final order. It is only appealable to the Court of Common Pleas. Are there any questions?
I do.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
May I? I do if I may proceed, or I can wait until if Brianna has them.
I just wanted to let you guys know that I will be vacating out of her unit on the 12th.
Of April?
Yes, I did find suitable housing for myself and my child, so she can have her home April the 12th.
Okay.
We'll be vacating.
That actually answers one of the questions I had. Thank you very much, Brianna. I appreciate that. Let me just see if there's anything. Can I? Yeah. Another question I would like. Does that then supersede her any appeals and things like that? Sorry, I've gotten
She's back on the screen. Okay, so I'm gonna cut you off on my phone, okay? I'm hanging up.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Now we're just gonna unmute you here.
Okay, she's off.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that there's no need for any appeals and anything, and that moving forward, I guess Brianna will pay the 12 the what do you call it, the allocated 12 days worth of April rent.
That is
And-
up to the parties. We're not going to negotiate any. The order is what I stated. So if you both come to an agreement independent of what we stated, if you want to formalize that in writing, you're free to do that. But the order will state that rent is due beginning in April. And there is a lease. If you both agree to end your relationship, I would just recommend that you both have a meeting of the mind, put it in writing so you both agree, and that's it. Beyond that, the fair housing is not going to explain what type of relationship you have going forward if you both have an independent agreement beyond the order.
Also keeping in mind, there is a security deposit that's being held by the landlord, and in accordance to that, Philadelphia law, you should, be mindful of that as well.
I know what can you clarify what being mindful is? I know I have a deposit to return upon inspection of the unit.
There's a law that requires that you do that within 30 days or a statement of 30 days of her moving and providing a
course.
forwarding address. You have to provide either the security to her or a statement explaining what you deducted.
Of course.
Yep.
Sure.
For any further clarification, you can reference the security law or talk to a lawyer.
Sure. That's not a
And
problem.
I saw Ms. Garvin had her hand up. Ms. Garvin, do you need to say something?
You clarified what I was going to ask. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and conclude this hearing if there are no further questions.
Great, thank you very much.
Great. And we'll just ask everyone who's not FHC staff to go ahead and log off.
Thank you.
Leave.